With the release of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 earlier this year, it got me thinking about some other fantastic turn-based games. I feel like the genre is gaining in popularity over recent years, so for those who want that particular itch scratching, I decided to round up 5 of the best. This list is in no particular order, but before we get into it, if you do end up enjoying the video, then please consider subscribing as we are trying to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But enough of that nonsense, let's get started with Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. The game is utter chaos in the best possible way. A bold, beach-soaked sequel that somehow manages to be even more heartfelt, unhinged and hilarious than the game that came before it. Now, let's be clear right out of the gate, this is not the ideal entry point if you're brand new to the series. You'll be jumping into a story that is deep in the weeds of Ichiban and Kiryu's journeys, and there are enough callbacks and character arcs carried over from previous games that will make your head spin like a heat action gone wrong. But if you have played enough previous Yakuza games, then Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is an absolute delight. The turn-based combat system returns, and now with a massive facelift, you can move characters around during battle, and spatial positioning actually matters now. You can make a conscious effort to line up for devastating AoE attacks, knock enemies into one another, or get strategic about where you place your healer. It's a game changer, and it adds a whole new layer of depth that makes every encounter feel much more tactical and dynamic. There's also the classic Yakuza nonsense thrown in for good measure as well. There's an Animal Crossing style minigame where you create a bustling island resort. I finished this in like 2 sittings because I was absolutely enthralled by it. You have to fight pirates, you've got to build up star ratings and make sure guests are having a good time. I just thought it was absolutely awesome. There's also a Pokemon style minigame where you collect people from around the world and then make them fight for you against other people who have collected other people to fight for them. If that made no sense, then that's not my fault, that's just how it works. It's absolutely ridiculous in the best possible way. There's also a hell of a lot of other side content to do. The classic Yakuza humour is in full force with all these side quests. It is definitely worthy of being in the Yakuza series. And of course, the signature Yakuza tone is also just alive and kicking. We're talking soul-wrenching melodrama 1 minute, and then summoning something completely ridiculous the next. It's a beautiful tonal whiplash that somehow always works, and I don't think any other series could walk the tightrope between serious and ridiculous as successfully as Yakuza does, and Infinite Wealth is no exception. The story, for the most part, is phenomenal, funny, emotional, packed with twists. Ichiban continues to be one of the most lovable protagonists in RPG history, I don't know, and the dual protagonist approach with Kiryu is just a chef's kiss. That said, we gotta be honest, the final act really faceplants, the momentum stalls, the pacing gets weird, and it doesn't stick the landing at all. But even then, the journey is so strong that it still lands as one of the best RPG experiences in recent memory. And for the trophy hunters out there like myself, getting the platinum was an absolute joy. The platinum is essentially just do everything. The game is packed with side content, and nearly all of it is just so fun that it never felt like a grind. So yeah, Infinite Wealth might not be the best starting point in the series, but for returning fans, it's a glorious, ridiculous, emotional celebration of everything that makes the Yakuza series legendary. Next up, we've got Metaphor ReFantazio. I recently did a video on Metaphor, so go watch that for a deeper discussion, but if you've been craving that Persona magic in a whole new world, this is the game your calendar's been waiting for. Metaphor is more than just a spiritual successor to Persona. It's a bold, imaginative evolution of that formula. It takes the relationship building, calendar-based structure that we all know and love and drops it into sprawling high fantasy, filled with political intrigue, magic, and sauce. At its core though, this is still an Atlas RPG. Through and through. The stylish UI, the deep and layered world, and a cast of characters that slowly carve themselves into your heart over the course of dozens of hours. What sets Metaphor apart is how brilliantly it handles downtime. Every moment outside of combat is used to deepen your bond with your companions, explore the kingdom, and uncover more about your role in this massive, prophecy-ridden mess of a world. The story goes in some absolutely crazy directions that will leave your jaw on the floor, especially in the latter third. And we gotta talk about those characters. They are fantastic. Every party member is fleshed out, interesting, and emotionally grounded. You don't just fight alongside them, you grow with them. It's classic Persona structure at work, but woven into a more politically charged, myth-heavy narrative that gives it an entirely new flavour. And there is, of course, Luis, a villain so slick, so complex, and so terrifyingly composed that he immediately cements himself as an all-timer. Rarely agitated, deceptively nice, making every encounter with him all the more tense. You want to stop him, but you also kind of want to hear him talk more. He's that good. As for the combat, you know, the turn-based combat, the reason you're here, look, it's not the deepest turn-based system out there. Don't expect the crunch of tactical RPG or the flexibility of job-based systems, but what it does very well. It's fast, it's flashy, it's functional, and most importantly, it is fun. If you're a fan of turn-based combat, especially Atlas-style turn-based combat, then you will find lots to love here. The archetype system adds some light class-building mechanics, and the battles are clean, readable, and always engaging. You can assign your characters to either the front row or the back row. Front row deals and takes more damage, back row of course the opposite. You can utilise archetype combinations to unleash devastatingly powerful synergy abilities. For example, if you have 3 mages, you can use incredibly powerful magic attacks. So no, it's not reinventing the wheel mechanically, but it polishes the heck out of it and straps it in an airship soaring over a kingdom at war with itself. Do not sleep on Metaphor if you've not played it. It already feels like a generation-defining JRPG. It's recently been added to Game Pass as well, so it's simply a must-play if you're on the service. Let's now talk about a game that's not just a classic, it's a pillar of the genre, and that's Final Fantasy X. If you've been a subscriber for a very long time, first of all, I appreciate you. Second of all, you will know Final Fantasy X is my favourite Final Fantasy. I think it's one of the most emotionally powerful games ever made. This is a game that blends fantasy and emotion with such confidence it's almost intimidating. At the heart of it is the story of Tidus, I've never been able to pronounce his name, a blitzball star suddenly thrown into the mystical world of Spira. There he meets Yuna, a serene summoner on a pilgrimage to defeat a world-destroying force called Sin. What starts as a quest to save the world becomes a deeply personal, tragic story about faith, sacrifice, memory, and above all else, love. And listen, this hits hard. This isn't just a good story for a video game, it is an all-timer for any medium. From the shocking twist to the quiet, heartbreaking moments, Final Fantasy X knows exactly how to pull you in and break you. That final scene, if you know, you know, and if you don't, then you need to go fix that. But what really makes it work is the characters. Every member of the party has depth, growth, and purpose. Auron is the definition of cool, Lulu is mysterious and powerful. All of these characters are just so beautifully written, determined, vulnerable, all of them, oh, brilliant. And when it comes to the gameplay, you know, the turn-based gameplay, again, the reason you're here. This isn't just story-driven fluff. Final Fantasy X's combat system is rock solid. The genius of it all is the substitution mechanic. You can swap party members in and out mid-fight without wasting a turn, letting you make use of every character's unique strengths. If you've got a flying enemy, you can bring in Waka. If you need a magic user, you can swap Lulu in. It's fluid, it's strategic, and it makes the whole party feel meaningful and useful throughout the entire game. Nobody ends up on the sidelines for too long just because they don't fit your plan A, which is an issue many turn-based games often run into. And let's not forget the soundtrack, one of the most timeless video game scores ever composed, from the iconic Tazanakan to the chilling Seymour battle to the serene Besaid Island theme. The music is just pure emotion, it doesn't accompany the story, it elevates it, weaving itself into the very soul of the experience. Final Fantasy X is honestly not just a must-play for fans of JRPGs or for fans of turn-based combat, it's a must-play for quite literally everybody. If you care about games as a storytelling medium, if you've ever wanted to feel something deep from pixels and polygons, if you ever need a reminder of what makes video games special, Final Fantasy X is it. Now, if you've ever looked at the world of turn-based RPGs and thought, where the heck do I even start? You start here. This is your launchpad, Dragon Quest XI. This is a gateway, a beautifully crafted introduction to everything this genre has to offer, wrapped up in a warm nostalgic package. Let's get this out of the way up front. Yes, this game is incredibly simple, and that's both its biggest weakness and its biggest strength. You play as the silent, chosen one hero. Stop me if you've heard this before. That's just doing what chosen ones do. You've seen this story before, in everything. We aren't breaking any new ground here, but that's the thing. It's not trying to. The story of Dragon Quest XI is predictable, but it's also quite comforting. It's executed with such polish, charm and sincerity that it works. Sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel, you just need to make a really, really good version of the wheel that exists already. The game's world is big, colourful and a joy to explore. The combat is as old school as it gets. This is turn-based combat in its purest, most elemental form. There are no intricate class synergies or big brain burning mechanics here, just basic attack, spell, item, and honestly, that's exactly what makes the game so accessible. It's not going to overwhelm you in any way, it's going to teach you how turn-based combat works by giving you the space to breathe and experiment without punishing you for not being I don't know, an expert already. And while the simplicity could easily turn off veterans, for newcomers this game is perfect. It teaches you the rhythm of the genre, how to plan turns and all that other stuff. That said, it is a bit of a marathon. Dragon Quest XI just keeps going, even when you think it's over. Surprise, here's another 20 hours. For some people, that's a bonus. For others, it's going to feel like the post-credit scene has turned into a sequel. Whether that's a flaw or a feature depends on your stamina. If you've ever wanted to get into turn-based RPGs but didn't really know where to start, then I recommend you start here. You will probably have fun, but it will leave you hungering for more, for deeper games, for deeper combat, and that's where you can eventually graduate to the last game on this list. This game did not just raise the bar, it catapulted it into orbit. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is not just a brilliant turn-based RPG, it's not just visually stunning, it's not just ambitious, it is a revelation. This game doesn't politely ask to be part of the genre conversation, it rips the mic out of the stand and declares itself one of the greatest games of all time, full stop. Let's start with the obvious, the combat system, and I say this without hesitation, it is one of the best turn-based combat systems that I have ever seen. That's not hyperbole, it's a masterclass in marrying classic design with modern responsiveness. The core is turn-based, sure, but the real-time elements elevate this into a whole new level. Whether you're executing a dodge or perfectly timing a block so you can just hit them with a completely, incredibly exciting counter-attack, everything just feels alive. It's thoughtful, it's tactical, and also very visceral, like you're physically present with every swing, shot and spell. It's one of the few games where turn-based never means passive. Then there's the Lumina system, which is the engine under the hood that keeps everything so engaging. It's this beautifully designed upgrade web that rewards smart customization and experimentation. Do you want to lean into raw power, focus on elemental synergy, build towards support and control? The Lumina system gives you real agency and makes every character build feel personal and earned. And good grief, the world! Clair Obscur's setting is absolutely jaw-dropping. It's not just a place you explore, it's a place you feel. Every region is dripping with thematic purpose and emotional texture. And the soundtrack is just an absolute joke of a soundtrack. It is utterly ridiculous. But let's now talk about the story without spoilers, because this is where Clair Obscur goes from great game to masterpiece. It's a story about grief, about loss, about the things we bury, and what happens when they start to surface. It's intimate and colossal at the same time. A grand narrative full of war, fate and cosmic stakes that somehow still feels intensely human. It takes massive narrative risks too, twists that you will not see coming, structural decisions that will divide people, and long stretches where the game just sits with its pain. It's bold, it's unafraid to alienate people, but it sticks the landing, and when the credits roll you don't just sit back and think that was a good game, you just sit there processing everything that's just happened before you. So yes, Clair Obscur is one of the best turn-based games ever made, but it is a lot more than that. It's one of the best games ever made, in my opinion. Do not let this pass you by. It is not just a highlight, it should be a new benchmark. And there you have it. 5 turn-based games you absolutely must play before you die. Whether you're a genre veteran or just starting to dip your toes in, these games all bring something special to the table. But now it's your turn. What are your favourite turn-based games of all time? Is there a hidden gem that I've missed? A classic that you think more people need to play? Please let me know and I will make sure to check it out. But for now, that is all. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like. If you want to see more videos from me, then make sure to subscribe. Remember, we are trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I upload at least one video a week, but for now, that is all. Have a nice day, and goodbye.